Oh man. So now we're recording. We're here.
All right.
Well, I'm excited to have you here talking to us today. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I've wanted to talk to you for a while. It's nuts.
Yes.
Finally, we were able to sync this up.
I know. I'm very glad.
So tell us who you are. Like, introduce yourself. I'm sure a lot of people already know you.
So I used to be known on the board name of Nurse Navel,
Okay.
but now I go by Babe Fortuna. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing off of one of my favorite Star Wars characters, Babe Fortuna.
Yep.
Um, and I don't know. I still feel like I need a name to call myself, but I like it when people just call me Nurse or refer to me like that.
We've been trying to figure out a name for me for a while because
Yeah.
right now it's just OutieByte, and it's like,
I feel like you need like a name like Jacob or
Yeah.
something.
Jacob.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how long have you been a part of the community?
Um, I would say since I was in high school, so probably like, I don't know, the early 2000s maybe, but
That's how long it's been since you've been like,
y- yeah, like
Wow.
I was in forums and stuff like that, but I had never ever shown myself because I just, the capability really didn't exist to take a lot of pictures easily if you didn't have a digital camera to
yeah,
upload them. And I didn't know if anybody believed that I was actually a woman on the internet, but
yeah.
it was fun to just be in a place where I could talk about what I liked freely.
And
So,
now, did you go by Nurse Navel on the forums?
I know I went by some kind of name with like the word cherry in it, but I know there was some other like
There's another
cherry
cherry.
three. Yeah, there was, and like, she was way more famous and everything, and I didn't even try. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I honestly cannot remember for the life of me because it's like it was like Navalicious or something
yeah.
like was
Mm-hmm.
one of the boards, and there was like all these other ones,
That's wild that you've been
and
around for that long.
yeah,
Because
I've
I
been.
only saw you pop up on, I don't know if the first time I saw you was on Instagram or Pornhub. It was one of those. Because before
Yeah.
Pornhub, what were you posting at all? Was it that on Instagram?
No, I didn't make the Instagram until
Until after the
after all my,
purge.
yeah, the purge, yeah. It made me really upset because I had a pretty nice little fan base there, I felt like. And
Yeah.
but Instagram's everybody's been pretty nice to me there too. So
So tell me about how everything started for you. So you realized you had this fetish when? How long ago?
it's hard to say when I made the connection that like touching my belly button made me feel weird, or not weird, but like I liked how it felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think this is kind of embarrassing. One of the things that probably wasn't a good influence on me was when the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids came out.
Uh-huh.
It came with this huge poster of Roger Rabbit tummy trouble, and he's just strapped to a table with, this big, sexy, the redhead. I can't think of her freaking name right now.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica Rabbit. Yeah,
Yeah.
as a nurse, and he's strapped to a table and has a red X right on his, right over where his belly button would be, and there's like a tray of like needles and stuff, and I remember like feeling something about that poster, and
Yeah.
not necessarily like the rabbit, part of it, but just the situation. And I found out like I don't know, I know that I like guys tied down, and I like it when it has to do with something with their stomach for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But
So this
so
was
I
when
know,
Honey I Shrunk the Kids came out. That was a long time ago. So how old were you? You were like,
yeah, I would say like 6 or 7 or something. Yeah, I'm in
Okay.
my 30s, so I'm older, and I got all these young kids on Instagram trying to hit me up. It's so
I
weird.
know.
It's so weird.
No, I'm
I'm like,
33. She's 28,
Uh-huh.
and we're in the same
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
We're in the same exact boat.
It's a lot of young people. A lot of early
yeah,
20s. So is
yeah.
that kind of what started the whole like nurse thing for you, like that moment? Or were you kind of interested in it before then?
I
Like in
don't.
little ways?
I mean, like I remember, like I loved playing doctor when I was little,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there was. I can't remember if it was before or after, but like one time I was sick and I had to go like get a physical exam, and like I was pretty young, but they like made me take off all my clothes except for my underwear, which I thought was, I don't know, really embarrassing. And I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that kind of, did something to me too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know why I think that the medical part of it usually legitimizes a reason to see someone's stomach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I don't know, that's
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
kind of,
And all the tools involved and everything, and like the poking and the prying and the
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So, go into a little bit like you want to start like back in like elementary, middle, high school. Like, did you have any profound like belly button related experiences back then that sort of like solidified things for you, like beyond those ones that you already described?
Um, well, I know that I remember being pretty young, and like we were walking around somewhere and it was at night, and we saw a bat in like a store window, like flapping around, and someone was like, "Oh, if you get bit by it, you'll get like 25 shots in your belly button for rabies." And I was, like my face turned so red, and I immediately tried to like research it, and that
You're
started
like,
like
give
a
it to
whole,
me.
yeah, I
Bite me.
Yeah.
know.
It's so
And I
funny.
mean, I found out that like that like was the treatment. Like you had to get like 20 something shots in your stomach. I don't know if it was like necessarily like the belly button, because that would be like really painful. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
because of scar tissue, like it wouldn't go in. But like
Yeah.
it led me down this like really weird rabbit hole. And I have like all this, I don't know what you call it, memorabilia. Like I have all the instructions for mixing the old vials and stuff like that, and the instructions about giving the injections in the stomach, like in a circular motion.
Oh,
And
no shit.
because
That's really cool.
yeah, because now it's only like 4 or 5 shots, like in your arm or leg, so it's not exciting anymore. Not that I would want that treatment. I would rather be the one giving the treatment
Sure.
to a helpless person,
Mm-hmm.
and they need it to live, so that's
So what were like early relationships like for you when it came to this?
oh my gosh, I was so if you really want to know about some weird stuff with me, when I was younger, maybe in middle school, and I started thinking about guys more, I was really into X-Files.
Okay.
And there was this episode of this guy who had like a hair fetish or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was some kind of fetish.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And like he went from like cutting women's hair to like all of a sudden he was killing them to get their hair. And I thought that like that meant I was going to be a killer or something because I had a fetish. And I
Yeah.
like, oh my God, there for a few years, I didn't think I was ever going to get a boyfriend because I was like, they'll never accept me because I'm gonna or I'll kill them,
Yeah.
because I won't be able to control myself. Um, and that was, I mean, obviously really silly. And
The
I really
X-Files theme
didn't.
song freaked me out. I was scared. I was terrified of aliens when I was a kid.
Yeah,
So every time I'd hear that song come on, like I'd legit tell my parents, like, turn the TV down.
Yeah.
Like the song freaked me out.
That's funny.
still am
So
scared of aliens and ghosts too, but I really, the character Mulder, he was always getting hurt, and
yeah.
Scully was always taking care of him. That was more like the main draw for me.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, there was a few episodes where I think I got to see, Mulder shirtless. So, like,
No, it's so funny because I remember a significant like belly button moment for me was Roswell. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Like first
Where
episode, like she gets healed and she has that glowing blue handprint on her stomach, and she lifts it up to like show everybody.
that speaking, I just for some reason made me think of that. But did you ever see that? I just remember seeing the posters because I'm like, I had no interest, but there was like a show called like Kyle XY,
Of
Yeah.
course.
where there was a guy and he didn't have it, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna watch that.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it for me.
Yeah. You're like, ew.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, tell us more about like,
When I was younger,
well,
yeah.
not so much when you were younger, but like I mean, if you have any significant like relevant stories that happened when you were younger, but if not, like I'm curious about like, when you started introducing this in your relationships and what that was like, and but yeah, go on if you have something like relevant from like when you were younger.
I mean, like I said, just playing doctor, and I would get like there was always have to be something wrong with the stomach. Give pretend shots, in my friend's stomach, and they, obviously had no idea, or they would do it to me,
Uh-huh.
and it was very innocent. One of the first actual experiences I had was when my boyfriend in college wanted to go down on me, and I was really nervous because I had never had, like that. He's like, well, what if I tried on your belly button first so you see how it feels? And I was
And
just
you're like,
like,
oh.
oh my God. And it was like, it was like the best moment of my life. Like, seriously, it was so like, I felt kind of bad because he had no idea, but I was like, well, I mean, it was good for me. It was probably
Yeah,
good for
because it was
him.
like an enlightening moment for you. You finally got to see what it was like for real,
Yeah, yeah, and it was amazing. And
Did you tell him that you found it amazing, or did you just play it off like it was whatever?
I mean, like, yeah, I kind of played it off at first, but he found out, pretty fast, and he was okay with it. It just wasn't his thing, but
Like now, did you verbalize it, or did he just pick up on how into it you were?
I think that first time, like, he had no, like, I just didn't say anything about that, and then like, we did other things, so he really didn't think anything of it, at the time.
Yeah.
And then I kept like asking him to like go to that area, you know what I mean? Like my stomach. And I liked when you do that, and
Yeah.
so it wasn't too hard for him to figure out.
For sure. So, so would you count him as the first person that you told?
Yes, I would. I
Okay.
definitely
And that was a
would.
college boyfriend, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
was my college sweetheart, and we were married, and yeah, we've gone our separate ways, but we still are friends, and we're just not romantically compatible. And this whole fetish thing has a lot of shame attached to it, and like I'm finally in a place where I'm learning that I'm not, some hideous monster for liking what I do, and I'm not. I mean, I obviously knew a long time ago that the X-Files wasn't, like like it was just a fictional story. It didn't have anything to do with me, like actually. And then once I started going on the internet and looking at other people's kinks, I was like, I think mine's pretty mild in comparison
Super
to
mild.
others.
That's what I tell myself all the time now, and that's been the biggest thing that I've told myself that has really helped convince me that I'm not weird, that there's nothing to really be ashamed of. There's other more taboo things that you could be into.
Why do you guys think it is so scary? Is it because like nobody talks about it? Like it's not as common as like a
no,
to
me, I feel like an outcast. To me, I
Yeah.
feel like I would be viewed differently.
Because I feel like nobody truly understands it. Like if I were to tell somebody like outside of like this circle, like they wouldn't, like I feel like I'd have to explain it, and I would just sound really weird. You know,
the best way I've come to finally accept it is that it is an erogenous zone for a lot of people, and it just happens to be mine. Like it's, and because I feel like I've kind of reinforced that connection over and over again. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to, I don't know, so many people find belly buttons weird. Just like I kind of think, I mean, like, I don't really think feet are attractive at all because I've had like, I don't know, brothers, that, their feet stink and it's gross. And I don't, like,
Yeah.
it's not like the least, like, it's ew. It's just that to me. So I get
Yeah.
that other people might not get it. I don't know. It's just a thing that you don't really hear that often about. You know what I mean? Like, I think the fetish is coming, like, it's getting a little more popular, especially compared to even like 10 years ago or something,
Mm-hmm.
when you couldn't barely find content. Like, for me, I would have, like, this is a really weird story. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but most of the videos I found were women on women.
Yeah.
So like I felt like I was like almost conditioning myself to be a lesbian for a while because it was like that's all I was watching, in
Yeah.
terms of that. I am bisexual, but I would often like pretend one of the women was a guy, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
try to. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
but now that I'm on Instagram and stuff, like, I feel like there are a lot more guys coming out of the woodwork, which I'm very happy about. And I'm very happy to see that you were too, and that a man and a woman. It's just like, wow, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not that I'm not, I like women on women. I like men on men. I like all of it, but it's
Mhm.
just being a woman in such a niche fetish, it's so hard to find content. And that's like one of the main reasons I decided to start sharing, because then I thought, well, maybe if I share myself, someone will share themselves with me. And that has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been pretty satisfied about that. So
So, I talked to you a little bit about this last night, but also, I talked to Tom Lee and Kay, who we had on a couple episodes ago. When I would say belly button out loud, it would sound like I was saying belly button fetish out loud, and that
yeah,
everybody heard and they all
it's
knew. And do you
I
or do you know what I'm
I
talking
I
about?
know I know exactly what you're saying, and it makes me feel weird if I hear other people like I'm close to say it,
Mm-hmm.
because I just feel like, I don't know. It's hard for me to even, I don't
Like,
know. Sometimes
would you
you,
equate it to like because you said you have siblings, like would you or like even parents, like would you equate it to your parents saying like talking about super sexual things right in front of you?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think so, because it is like, every person that I know who has this fetish likes to hear that word, those two words specifically together.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I mean, there's some people who prefer navel, but like, it doesn't seem like there's that as many
Nah, get
people
out
for
of here.
some reason.
I don't like that word
I
either. Never
I
have.
don't I don't know why. Like, it's so, but yeah, just that the belly button is, yeah. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to even say out loud myself
I can tell.
sometimes.
I can tell. No, that's it's something that I feel a little more numb to now. Like what's so nice is that like hearing it, it's still like a trigger for me, which I love because that's a part of my kink. Like I love the audible of it, you know.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
hearing the word, but yeah, now I'm way more comfortable saying it because I've said it so many times in a conversational setting, you know.
And I think,
Yeah.
yeah, the repetition will definitely help. And that's something I haven't used a lot of my own kind of voice in my videos, because I don't like how my voice sounds, and I feel if I record something with my voice, a lot of times I'm like, try not to even listen to it afterwards, and just like,
Really?
I
yeah,
think
just
you have
because
a
it's
great
like,
She's
voice.
never gonna
thank
listen to
you.
this.
Oh,
No, I
I'll
she's
think
gonna
try.
forget this ever happened.
yeah. I think you have a great voice
I think you have
too.
a fantastic
I
voice.
really do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
But
mean,
I
Thank
understand
you.
it's weird to hear your own voice. Like it's
we
Yeah.
really
we all don't like our own voice.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think it's a common thing, and
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
I have to just get over it. I really do.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm getting a little more confident, And I don't interacting with people and having them encourage me has been really awesome. So
That's so great.
yeah.
You seem to be not only big on like nurse play, but also like any to outie play. Like
Yeah.
when did that all start for you?
You know, there's been I know there was like just the concept of it, I don't know, was always kind of interesting. Like I didn't really care like in cartoons when it, like when a character would eat too much and their belly button popped out. Like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously I would be a little interested, but it's not like, I don't know. But then I saw like somebody do it on the internet and I was like, wow, I wonder if I can do that. And I mean, like I tried so long and I'll admit this now because this was years ago, but I was so scared to even buy the extractor. Like I seriously stole one from Walmart.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was like the only thing I've ever stolen in my life because I didn't know what else to buy with it to make it look not suspicious for some reason. Like
Jesus.
it was
But then there's nothing. It's so funny because there's nothing suspicious about it. But I totally understand. Like they probably know. Like they know exactly what I'm using.
It's like
this
you
for.
put condoms down and Hershey syrup down on the counter. Like they know exactly what you're doing, but you put this bug bite thing on there.
It was when I still lived at home with my parents and like I didn't have my own car and like I don't know, I was freaked out they were gonna be like, what did you buy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so like I went into like the changing room and like put it in my purse and I was
They're
so
probably
nervous.
like that poor girl. Let's just let her take it.
Like, why would you steal a poison extractor?
Yeah, it's like what's worse? Is it being seen buying it or getting caught stealing it?
Yeah. If you think about it, it's like more suspicious. It's like, why do you feel like you need to steal this?
Yeah, for real. Oh my God. Not my most proud moment, but
yeah. So you weren't able to actually successfully get yours out until you bought that.
Yeah.
Got it.
How did it feel the first time you used it?
Oh my God. It was like I know like I gasped like just because it was so unexpected. And like I don't know, it was just like amazing. And then after a while, like I could start playing it out by myself. So, but I honestly haven't even done that lately. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just sometimes it makes me really shy because I had one person be like, ew, that's gross. And when you know what I mean? Like it was only one person though.
Yeah.
Or I think it concerned them because they were worried it was like going to hurt
do you mean
me.
like in person?
Yeah.
Oh.
I showed somebody.
Yeah.
And
it was someone you were dating?
Freaked out. Yeah.
Okay.
And they didn't like it very much. So I was super hesitant to even post anything like that on Instagram because I thought people would think it was gross, but apparently they don't. So that's good to know.
Not me.
What about you? How did that get started for you? Like
for me, I think I was able to get it out with my fingers when I was like an early teen, I think.
Okay.
I remember buying an extractor. Oh, man, I honestly probably didn't buy an extractor until like my early 20s. Yeah, I was probably like 22, 23 when I first bought one. And just the nature of it, it's like an instant, I would said suckage. It's like an instant suction. And it's a little kind of like, it kind of makes you jump, when you use it for the first time. But I remember it just like felt incredible. And I was able to like get it out further than I ever had been able to before. And it was the only like, I don't know, everybody, I'm sure there are a lot of people who have the fetish that are like, oh, I wonder what it's like getting my belly button sucked on, and it's a great feeling. It was the only tool I had that can like give me that feeling at the time. So,
right.
Yeah, I loved it.
I thought it was really cool to actually be able to see the bottom of my belly button for the first time, and I mean, there's so many. I mean, like, I really wish I had more confidence back then to like show and record, because I was definitely doing a lot of the play, like even in front of like the mirror and stuff. And like
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was pretty hot, but I don't know. I thought people would say I was too chubby or too, too this or too that to do this. And nobody has really said that to me. And that has been like really, and so many people have come out and be like, I have this fetish and I was scared to even talk about it. And like, that's been really sweet. So
Yeah.
that's been like more like on Reddit, and I've like shared stuff.
Yeah. So I noticed that, I mean, the thing that I love most about yours is and I don't know how long it stays out, but it seems to stay out for a while on its own.
It can, yeah. And it's really weird. I don't know how it does that, but it can just.
Now, does it stay out indefinitely?
Indefinitely, yeah.
No way.
Like, if I like, it's easier if I'm like just laying down. It will stay. Like if I sit up, then it kind of like like.
Yeah.
But even then, sometimes it's like I actually have like there was like one time I had to like really push it back in.
No way.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Have you ever just like walked around all day with it out?
I know I have for like probably like for a few hours, and it just felt weird. Like not weird, but like just it felt good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like that was when I had it like I have this like surgical towel clamp, and I had like basically clamped it to keep it out because that's when it wasn't staying by itself.
Yeah.
And it was like kind of pulling, and I mean it wasn't an unpleasant feeling.
So you had really, that thing clamped on there when you were out like doing stuff?
No, I was like in my house, like just doing stuff. Yeah, I wasn't like no. There is one of my friends dared me to like keep a marble inside my belly button all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, and that was really exciting. And so I've actually made some of my little fans,
mm-hmm.
like when I ordered them to do things. So that's one of my things I like to order them to do. I don't know why, but it's really fun.
Yeah. No, that's something
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
It is really fun. And it's fun when you remember when you're like around people and then you remember that you have it in your belly button. Like it feels dangerous.
Because she's a hairstylist.
Yeah.
And so she kept it like in.
I'm like up work. Against people. And they can't tell because I have like my apron on over it. But if I didn't, like, it's so cool. I really like it. It's fun. And then it's crazy when you take it out. I left it in for like 24 hours at least.
Yeah.
And it makes it huge. Like, right. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, we did it specifically. Like I don't know if you saw like our videos on Instagram. Like we did it specifically so that we could get like a deeper mold of it when we did the silicone stuff. Yeah, it worked. It definitely worked. Like I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Like, yeah, I want to try that too, to make a mold of mine just to see what it's like. Like,
yeah,
it's freaky. Awesome. Like when it, like when you finish making like the thing and it looks just like your stomach. Yeah. And you're able to like put your finger in it.
Like the skin texture and everything.
It's really crazy. It's really weird. And it's like you're touching yourself, but you're not.
And you don't feel it. Yeah. Wow.
It's
wow. That is really cool.
Yeah, no, we've talked about like doing like public play for a minute. Like, one of the videos that we have on our list is like trying innie to outie stuff and then like tying it out and like going out somewhere at the beach or something and trying to capture reactions and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that, just randomly doing something.
Because
like
for
that.
you, it would be, if we had her here during the attempting the beach thing, like it would be way easier for her to do it because we wouldn't need a tool. And we wouldn't need to tie it out. Like she could just pop hers out and then it would stay and then she could just like walk around.
It's like a superpower.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because for hers, it's so stubborn.
Difficult.
It's so stubborn. Like it's like, because since you have it, like you're physically grabbing something that's under the skin that you are making unfold and invert. you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
she doesn't have that.
It's
Or
just skin.
she does, but it's like it's at the very base of it. So, you know, if you just like poke the sides of her belly button, like around her belly, it's just skin. Like you don't feel anything under there. So it isn't until we use the toys that like the twist suction toys.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never tried that one. I want to.
yeah,
Is it
those
good?
ones have a ton of suction. A ton.
Those are
Yeah.
fun to leave on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it isn't until, you know, we use that toy and then tie it off do we like access that part. But like with the fingers, it's like you can't grab it.
And I think I've seen a lot of people try to, and it makes me want to help them and try for, you know, like to do it, you know, like help them get it out. And I think it's just some people have different anatomy, you know, that.
Yeah, because there are so many times there's so many times I come across people doing videos where they're trying to do it and they're like, I just can't do it. And I'm like, I can see exactly what you're doing wrong. Like, I feel like I could help you right now. Oh man, I think that all the time. So you mentioned giving like tasks to your fans. Can you like explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So I've had this nurse thing going on, and I really like my dream, weird ass dream I've had since I was a little girl, having like a belly button clinic where I would just like keep all these boys and they would be like my patients, and
your patients are prisoners. Like you keep them there, or like
well,
Just
see,
picture
it's
them
hard to say.
sweaty and like naked in the corner. Like
It's you know, they don't want to be. They, in my mind, they want to be there, but they like, I don't know, they pretend they don't want to be there, and it's so weird, you know, in my little
that's not weird
mind. Yeah.
You're talking to two people who do not think it's weird at all.
No, that's not
okay. I've never had to like explain my fantasy, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been talking to some guys, and I really want to meet for like real play. But in the meantime, some of them just, you know, if they charm me enough, you know, and if they have like a really interesting belly button, you know, and they're not mean or anything to me, then I'm usually pretty responsive. But some people just like to spam me, and you know, but yeah, especially when they get into the whole, you know, calling me nurse and like letting me talk about, you know, what I would do in, you know, an exam, and then like actually they want me to be like their mistress, and so I'm practicing trying to have some belly button slave boys, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So how long has that been going on for?
A while. I mean, like, there's one boy I've been talking to for over a year, and he just, I like him and everything. He's nice, and it's weird because he seems to know like when I'm horny, like he'll message me and I'll be like, man, I was just, yeah.
So what's the most extreme thing you've made one of them do?
I haven't done too many extreme things. I try to get them to do like what I like to see in videos. You know what I mean? I love like when belly buttons are cleaned out with Q-tips. I don't know why. It's just like my favorite. But I think I've tried, you know, some wax. I've had them do like where they take like wet cotton balls and like shove them in their belly button, and or I've done like it's hard to think of, like I'm trying to think of back on what else I've made them do.
Yeah,
because I don't want to like embarrass anybody.
I mean, you're not saying names.
That's true. I mean, I make guys, you know, finish inside their belly button, and yeah, and I think that's, I don't know, it's exciting for me to.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
To pretty much just tell them like, you know, like they're like,
you're like really, a belly button dom in a way.
Yeah. That's what it
that's
feels
cool.
like.
You're like getting content that you want to see from them, and like they're enjoying it too. Like that's powerful. That's really
and
neat.
It is, and yeah, I absolutely love it, and I never thought that would happen to me, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome. And I don't know, I still want to just go out there though and like to have mutual belly button play with people
Mm-hmm.
and not worried about being judged or like why I'm into this.
So tell me a little bit about some of the negative experiences you've had with people online in this community.
I don't know. It doesn't seem to be like directed at me necessarily. Usually I see it for other people that, you know, I see some fat shaming sometimes or just saying it's gross. But as far as like, I don't know, the people in the community, some of them are just like overly aggressive when it comes to trying to get my attention. And I I really try to answer people when they DM me or whatever, but you know, when I don't and I get like 50 messages, you know, I'm like, I'm not going to respond to that.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, because some
I
people,
don't know.
some guys don't understand. Like most women in the community have full inboxes of people hitting
Yeah,
them up.
yeah. And it's so hard for me to be like, sorry guys, I have like 30 messages. You know what I mean? Because then I feel like I'm being some kind of, you know, like show off.
Yeah.
And I really am
Yeah.
not, I'm not trying to be. That's generally why I prefer more to post content to like my Instagram feed for like everybody to see and enjoy it. And I'm not like just sending one person a picture. And a lot of times, if I'm talking to a guy and I take some like a picture I'm like or something and I'm like, oh, that's pretty spicy. I like that. I'll end up sharing it for like other people usually too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I had a lot of negative experience with the community, like myself, more like just people. I don't know. You know, there's always going to be rude people, but I mean, and there's just some who are very extreme and they kind of scare me. Like
Yeah.
they're obsessed with the stabbing,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's not I can appreciate where that fetish might have come from or where like something happened and they enjoy that, but
Mm-hmm.
and I can pretend to hurt people all day long. You know what I mean? Or I actually really I'm really good at that kind of thing. Um, Making something dangerous safer, like doing it in a safe
Yeah,
way
because
to
you don't
kind of
actually want to hurt them. Like you're not into that part of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's like been one of my only concerns is that like I'm gonna get somebody or meet somebody who's into that and then they're just gonna try to hurt me and
They're going to tie you up and you're not going to be in
yeah
control and they're just going to have their
right
way.
Yeah. Do you feel like it gets
yeah
misconstrued because like of the nursing thing? Like do you think people take that in like the wrong way and they think that you're into pain and all that stuff? Or does
a
that not
few
really
people
happen?
have few people like so I'm not a real nurse.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to step into that. I mean, I've wanted to be a nurse, but because I have like this association with, you know, like, you know, sexuality and the medical field, I feel like it would
Mm-hmm.
be unethical for me to like
Yeah.
actually be a nurse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it would probably just make it the whole thing unsexy for me, honestly.
Yeah.
But like I still want to get training and stuff. And it's not that I wouldn't mind like, you know, like using like a sterile, you know, needle on somebody, but even that kind of still like I really would have to know the person and like I don't know. It's I don't really like the pain play as I mean I do like the pain. I don't like the like permanent damage kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
those
so
people
funny
just
that we're talking about this because Zoe's question kind of pertained to me. Like I had a misunderstanding about your fetish and kind of like what you were into. Like when I saw the whole nurse thing, I assumed that it meant needles and syringes and that whole thing.
And honest, so I am into needles and syringes, but I think it's really cute when guys are scared of them. So that I don't know, and just the aesthetic of them, I think I like to induce fear, but not actually hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like I like
it's
things
like
to
a
look
power. It's like a
scary.
power play type thing.
Yeah. Like I might, I could do this to you, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm obviously not, I'm going to like put a jelly bean inside your belly button instead or something, like.
So tell me a little bit about, so you said that, you told that first college boyfriend, got married, you guys split. Have you had relationships beyond that where like belly button play had been more of a thing?
Just kind of casual with a few people. One of my good friends who's really kinky, she's like kink adjacent, like she's got other kind of stomach stuff. She let me play with her belly button and she said it felt really nice and really good. And like it was so awesome. And
how did that all start up?
She wrote a fan fiction and I could just like I had spidey sense that it was about like I knew she was like me. I don't know. I could feel like the kindredness. So I commented. I'm like, oh my god, like I commented on her story.
So wait, was this somebody that you knew in real life?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
We were totally we didn't know each other. Well, obviously I knew her after we got to know each other, but like we started off as she wrote a story about a character getting sick with a stomach ache and throwing up and then getting a stomach rub, and I don't know, just the way she was writing things and I was like I could just tell. And then like we instantly hit it off, and we did a lot of role playing, which is honestly what I like to do more. I like to role play. This is gonna sound weird, but I know a lot of my fans already know this, that like I pretend that I'm Bucky Barnes from Captain America, and I like to pretend I'm in a relationship with Captain America, and like and a lot of times, of course, Bucky has a belly button fetish or a sensitive belly button. So I've often thought about like sharing some of the writings for some reason. I don't know, but I don't know. Like I think I'd have to change from the male audience. I'd have to do, like a
female equivalent.
Yeah.
So
which is easy.
Tell me a little bit more about role play, because it's something that I've never got into or experienced or experimented with or anything. So can you like, I'm sure there's a lot of people in the community who are kind of in my boat as well. Can you like tell me a little bit more about like how you got into it, how you get started into it, like, any tips for people who want to do it?
I still, I've been doing it for at least like 4 years now. I started to get into it after I watched the show Hannibal on NBC. I don't know, it made me like, it awakened something in me. It was like, the show is so gay, like it was amazing. And there's just, I don't know. And there was like all the medical stuff too. And like, I don't know, it was perfect. So that's when I became like really interested in Tumblr and stuff. And then I noticed people were doing these back and forth conversations as, character A and character B and having these interactions. And the one friend who wrote that story, we're like, well, why don't we try, our own story? You be this character and I'll be this character. And then we kind of decide on like a general situation. And the fun part for me is to see how, like, if I can get the characterization down of my character, like as realistically as possible.
Yeah.
But also I kind of have a good sense of, once I talk to somebody for a little bit, I can kind of tease out what they really find arousing and just kind of like totally play into that and like kind of blow their mind. And I've had lots of people, you know, compliment me on that and just send me back like shocked face emoji or just like 3 dots because they don't even know what to say, you know. And
That's great.
so it's fun though. It's, you know, it's me. It's not me. It's not real. I'm not hurting anybody, and it's just totally, you know, it's like I can kind of zone out into my little fantasy world of, you know, like whatever's going on, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and it's
That's
just it's cool to have the other person interacting with you. And
Mhm.
some people are just not very good writers, which is okay. But, you know, as far as tips, I don't know, man. You have to figure out what tense you're writing in, past or present tense, because that's really confusing if you
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, there's lots of yes, but I would go on Tumblr if you really want to know more about role play.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I know people just make their own characters too. I haven't really played around too much with that. I have role played just as, you know, myself as a nurse, obviously, and then the guys I'm talking to, you know, they're my patient, and that's really fun too.
Yeah.
And like it's really fun when they can send me pictures or videos like of their belly button so I can comment on what I'm seeing, you know, and it feels a lot safer that way, you know,
Yeah.
to do. But I've still been really shy. I've done a kind of Zoom exam, and I mean I was so nervous. I was like doing it live,
How
you know
did
what I
that
mean?
work?
Yeah.
It worked. It worked. The guy really liked it. He said he wants to do it again. It's just I've been so freaking shy.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
because I'm, you know,
intimidating.
like, yeah, because
Mhm.
I feel like I'm being myself, I guess, when it's easier for me to like go out of myself and be this other character who
Yeah.
also happens to have the same fetish as me, but like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
thanks. I feel like such a nerd.
No.
No, I love it. I love hearing about it. I've never asked anybody about it before.
Mhm.
You know,
Is it
it's,
something
Really?
that you would try?
I
Sir?
don't think I don't think I'd be good at it. Like
It's
I'm one of those people. I'm a bad writer. Like I would not do well. It's not so much I'm a bad writer. It's like creatively I'm a bad writer. You know, like I wouldn't be able to really dive in on really like keeping the other person's interest up that whole time.
right.
You know?
I mean, like I can write like 6 or 7 paragraphs as a response, and then sometimes I'll get like 2 sentences, and they won't like advance. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like their character reacting to whatever I'm doing, so I have to come up with what is coming up next. And that does like that's the only thing I don't like is when people are like that. So I kind
Yeah.
of like,
To do all the
eh,
work.
Just oh
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, if you have a general idea of what kind of scene, I guess it's almost like planning like a. See, I've never done any like actual dom stuff. I've been to one swingers party,
Hmm.
and
Ooh.
that was my only goal going there was to touch or lick a guy's belly button, and that happened within like the first 3 fucking minutes of me being
No
there.
That's
shit, really?
amazing. How did that happen?
I
Did you just
like,
walk in there and you're like, this is my
yeah,
goal?
She held up
yeah.
a sign over her head and
She's
just
like,
waited for
here. She's
someone
like,
to
here for
lift
the
up
belly
the shirt.
buttons. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, would it be cool if I see your stomach and like touch it? And they're like, yeah.
You're like,
And
oh.
then they had like a hot tub there, and then like for some reason that just made me like,
Imagine being at
yeah.
a swingers party and him being like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
He's like, I'm here for the snacks.
he's like, do you know where you are?
I know. I
Oh.
know. I was like, people are gonna laugh at me. But they didn't. No. I'm like, you can touch my boobs if you want, you know, and then like,
So what did you say about a hot tub? They had a this was in the
they
hot
had a
tub
hot
or?
oh no, this like as soon as I got there, like I had a drink, and then there was some pretty like hot dudes there already, and or couples I should say, and
Mhm.
I got to touch some women too, and it was really nice. And but once they had a hot tub and I like got in that water, and I was just like, yeah. And then then I did I think I touched 3 or 4 guys' belly buttons or something in there, and
Dang.
Living a
some other,
dream.
yeah. But I'm like, I know, after the first hour being there, I'm like, this isn't exactly what I wanted, but it's it was an interesting experience.
I
'Cause
cannot imagine being in your having the situation reversed where it's me as a guy trying to touch 4 women's belly button in a hot tub.
I know, and I honestly feel bad for guys sometimes because I understand it's harder. It really is for them, and man, it makes me I just want to touch all these guys' belly buttons for them and just have them experience
It's so funny because Zoe, she had the same reaction to I don't know, getting a lot of messages on Reddit and stuff, right?
And
you were
people who have never experienced touched by another person, they've never gotten to, and that makes me genuinely sad. And it makes me I'm not interested in meeting up with people, obviously, but I wish I could just go around and just
facilitate an experience for them.
Spread myself. I wish I could just
spread
go
my
around
seed.
and spread myself. It's the worst way to, you know what I mean? I wish I could just
clone yourself, or what do you mean?
Well, this.
I like to.
Do you want me to sound really unlikable? I wish other people would be like me and just be willing to I wish people, because I was willing to give it a go, open. And I ended up really liking it, and then here I am. I wish more people would be willing to give it a go for these guys, and I wish I wish there's more people out there for them. And I wish I could help them in some way with that, but it's not possible. I know. But I feel for them deeply.
I feel hopefully that we give them hope that there are women out here, who are into this stuff. Obviously, I am totally into this, but it's been weird for me because I'm more into the guy stomach. You know what I mean? I'm still kind of, I'm yeah, my belly button's okay, whatever. But I'm not used to people calling me hot or sexy or anything like that, and it's just it feels weird still.
It feels weird for me too, and my stomach is not my favorite part of my body, and when we started doing all this, I was really nervous that people were gonna be mean to me, or that I wouldn't be people wouldn't be interested in me.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought too. Not for you, but me. That was my fear too.
Yeah, and I haven't. If there has been negative comments, I haven't seen them or anything like that. So that's been really nice. But I get nervous every time we put something out. I'm waiting for one person to be like, ew, But then also at the same time, it's made me like myself more.
It's been a confidence boost.
Yeah, I don't know if you feel that way too, but now I feel I'm desired for something that I didn't desire myself, if that makes sense.
No, exactly. That's exactly. Yeah. I do feel a lot more confident, definitely, and every time I even get down on myself, I'm I actually have literal fans who are horny for me all the time, and I'm that. Not a lot of people can say that, know, and.
You tell your boss that when you quit and you walk out, you're like, I have fans.
Yeah.
You don't
people
even know.
Worship me. You have no idea.
Yeah, really. Yeah. You have any idea that I'm a goddess?
There's a guy sticking cotton balls inside of himself for me right now.
Oh my God.
I have a belly button clinic, and
yeah.
What do you have, sir?
I have my own clinic, sir.
You don't even know.
That's still my ultimate goal, man, is I have almost all the stuff for it too. I have a massage table that I got. I have a fan light. I have actual straps too. They're Velcro, because I don't want anybody to be scared. They can't get out, and I really don't. I want to I really want to do that though.
Well, we
I
have
really wanna, like,
Velcro straps, and I can't get out of those.
really?
Yeah.
I actually
We have them
have
under
not
the bed.
tried. Oh, no.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. So you have all this like equipment and all this setup. It sounds like you're like, could you open like a legit place? Like, how would that is that something that
So-
you really think about, or?
I have an opportunity to, like, there's a house in my family. It's like a 2-story house, and it basically like a house with like an apartment on top. So I could live on one floor and like do that on the other floor. But I feel like I would need like that obviously couldn't be like my only source of income. You know what I
How
mean?
crazy
Like,
that would be to have family coming over and you're like, you can't go upstairs.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
And then some kid sneaks up and it's a doctor's office, like a legit doctor's.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing creepy. It's
Yeah.
just a doctor.
It looks really nice.
Yeah.
The other thing too I thought about is like, what if I went to Japan, and because they do seem to have like ear cleaning clinics, and I have seen like a belly button cleaning clinic there.
Really?
But yeah, it's like of like the really, really gross, like,
Oh.
but you know
like
what I
people
mean?
who have let it get like bad.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
would just be like, I think it's really comforting to let somebody else take care of you in that kind of way. Just like getting my hair cut by somebody else makes me feel special and like, attended to, and just I get like the goosebumps even just from like someone touching my hair. So like that's the kind of experience would like to just give to somebody else. Like, I know it's kind of sexual, but I don't want it to be like obviously all completely sexual.
Mhm.
And I don't, obviously there's going to be a line somewhere, and I'm still trying to figure that part of it out,
Yeah.
but
This is
mostly
fascinating to me.
That would be really
Really?
cool.
Yeah, no, this really is.
Because you'd be bringing it to like real life, but like
Yeah.
permanently almost, it wouldn't just be like meetups. It's like this would be your spot, and to
Yeah.
do something that you like love and that you're into, and just displaying it in that way and having people respond to it and like come over, like that'd be crazy. Like you could really make like an impact. That's wild.
And I've also thought about like even getting an RV and like making a traveling clinic. I've looked at like the medical vans and stuff like that. It's one of the options I've considered, to be like a traveling nurse, and I'd have, like, because I could go to different locations and it would be my own safe spot instead of relying on hotels, and I would just have, clients, my patients.
And it's something that you
come
can
in.
move, and it's not
Yeah.
like you're taking them to your home.
Yeah, I was
Right,
gonna say
right.
that earlier, that I don't know if you should live in the place because
That's-
people
I know,
are
that's-
weird.
That's honestly a concern I've had, and that's
Mhm.
like why I haven't been, like these aren't like solid plans, but I mean, like it could happen. Like the pieces are there if I want to take this house, or maybe just sell it and then, do the RV thing, or I don't know. Like I would like to do some actual meetups with people first to see honestly if I can handle, in-person stuff without,
Mhm.
I don't know.
And
So
kind of see
part
how
of me is
people
like,
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I really want to just do it for myself, and I'm very eager. So
Yeah.
and
It's
I
kind
know
of
lots
like
of other people are.
claiming, it's kind of like taking back this shameful thing that you've kind of like
Yeah,
stuffed away a little bit.
Mhm.
that's exactly how I feel. And
Yeah.
and I know I have lots of willing participants. If once I'm ready to move, I'm still planning on going to California as soon as I can figure out the train situation, because apparently Amtrak is like canceled a whole bunch of their trains.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. My friend's going to Colorado for a concert in like a month, and she said that her train got canceled. So now I have to see that.
Oh
But
shit.
yeah,
Oh.
I mean, like I'll fly it. I'm not scared of that, or even drive. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Dang, driving
I
all the way
will.
down here, that would be a fucking trip.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I personally love driving. I've only flown a few times, but I've driven a lot. I like driving. Anyway.
don't mind it. I like, I know I like it, but I mean, like, if it takes away from like the vacation time, like if I have to drive for like
Yeah.
5 days,
Oh yeah.
like,
Yeah, then that's not fun.
but yeah, there's something about if you're on a road trip with somebody, I love driving, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I've flown a million times, but I haven't gone on too many long road trips. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Like I've been, like, no, that's a lie.
Mm.
I'm gonna erase that part. I
Okay.
don't know how to get out of it.
This is really fun though, and I've never actually done this, so I'm still
Mhm.
excited to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like the fetish has always been sexual. The community has never been. I mean, maybe one can argue like the forums were a place for this, but it was never a place for like friendship. It was always like
trading content,
or just like how to like help me get off, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It feels good knowing, like, for example, like those two people that we had a conversation with a couple episodes ago. We might be meeting up with them next month.
Yeah, like they feel like
to
my
go
friends.
out to dinner. Like,
yeah,
that's awesome.
That's so cool to me. Like, we are all a needle in a haystack in each other's lives. Yet it doesn't have to end with some sexual encounter.
Yeah, like we can just talk about it and
So,
but I think like hearing people's experiences, like hearing like your experience and hearing like OutieByte's, like hearing everybody's experiences through all this is like super helpful to people too.
Yeah.
Because we're all experiencing the same stuff, and it's nice to not feel alone.
It really is, and it's been. I don't want to say it's surprising, but it kind of is when I hear that, reflections of exactly the same experiences I went through that you went through, and just, a lot of the other people in the community have gone through. And there, I think that really does build confidence in people too, that, like you're not alone and you're not, a freak.
You're not an X-Files murderer. You're like a normal person.
I mean, I feel like I am a freak in some regards, but like I
but you own it.
Yeah.
You own it, and you don't feel ashamed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm weird, definitely, but I don't know. I'm happy to be able to share myself genuinely with people and be accepted, honestly. Like, I truly do feel accepted. The only thing that sucks is that I feel like I can't share it with other people in my life right now. You know what I mean? Like my friends. And
have you opened up to any friends before?
I've opened up to a very select few, and they've been actually really cool about it.
Like, how many people would you say no right now that are friends with you?
Maybe like 5.
Okay, that's a good amount.
Yeah.
And how much do they know?
They know pretty much like most of it. One of the friends was with me, like they were a couple, and we went to the swingers thing, and so they knew like I was going as a unicorn or whatever that means.
Oh yeah.
So, and like I told them my goal, and I'm like, this is my thing, I'm like, I'm just trying to because I didn't even know how else to like meet someone else for like some kind of play.
I don't know why I imagine like your friends walking in with you and they're like, hey, get this girl a belly button right now. Someone come up here. Someone come up here, lift up your shirt.
Oh my God. It was very interesting. And it was very interesting. And then, there was just all these people having sex right next to me, and I was just playing with someone's belly button.
Oh, no way.
So,
that's really cool.
Would you feel like that is like the top experience in regards to belly buttons in your life, or do you have another one that you want to share?
Well, so while I was at that swingers thing, I did talk to a couple, and they both pleasured me. And like, I didn't even have like, penis and vagina sex. They just both like took turns eating me out. And I told them like every time that I come if you play with my belly button more, like it will just turn me on again. And so like I don't know, it went on for like 2 hours, I swear to God.
Oh,
And
you're so
that was like
lucky.
I know it was amazing. And
Wow.
yeah.
I'm a little blown away right now.
Me too.
Really. It was, I mean, yeah, it was weird though, because there was like, because it was like a swingers thing, like they put like 4 king size beds together in this one room. And so there's like people on the other side of the room, like way down there having sex and doing their thing. And I'm just, I mean, like, I think at one point there were people watching me because I was making a lot of noise because of what they were
Really?
doing. Yeah.
So you got people around watching you have like belly button play done.
And I was totally, I didn't even care because at that point I was just lost in the pleasure. And I didn't, my
were
friends
other
had to
people
come
coming
me.
up to like also like pleasure your
So
belly button?
like one person tried to, and they're like, hey man, like the other couple like didn't want him involved, and that was fine. I let them take the lead, because I was like, I didn't know what the hell I'm doing.
She's ours.
But yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
And it was nice because I didn't feel pressured at all, and I felt like like they always like everybody asked consent first, and like you could tell like if the vibe wasn't so that like gave me a little bit of confidence. But again, like I seriously doubt anyone there had like any kind of belly button fetish, like maybe maybe I'd be wrong, but I wasn't going to like I could have held up a sign, I bet, and got a lot of attention that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just, and it's not like there's like conventions for fetish people to go to, is there? Like I don't know.
There's like I think there's Fetish Con.
Is there?
I know there's like Adult Con here in LA at the LA Convention Center.
Okay.
But I think there's a Fetish Con. I feel like I need to look it up right now. Let me see.
Part of me like wants to go to one.
Yeah.
Like I want to go just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, just to see the other people's.
Yeah.
It's been interesting searching. So I don't know how it's been for you, but like searching for content for me, I come across lots of different kind of fetishes, and some of them just don't appeal to me at all, but other ones I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
What other ones appeal to you?
So it's hard to explain. Like I don't like feedy and feederism, but like I like it when someone's kind of uncomfortably stuffed with food and like their stomach is rounded. You know what I mean? Like, because I like to just like rub it then and make.
She
it feel
just
better.
discovered.
You should hang out with me.
Yeah, she just discovered that like a bloat fetish is like a thing.
Yeah.
She had no idea. She's like, why am I not just doing that? I'm bloated all the fucking time.
Bloated and uncomfortable, and so I won't go into it for anybody else who doesn't care to hear about my intestinal issues.
Well, and there's people out there who like the noises of like stomachs too. Like
that reminds me. There was a guy who reached out to us and asked about.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
Because we tried to crack a joke with him, but we don't think he got it.
He caught on.
He asked if we could do a video of stomach growling, and we were like, well, we've never done that before, but like.
But I really know how to like inflame my IBS.
She's like, I have IBS and I know how to inflame it.
And then he was like, oh, well, like, I don't want to like
I don't want her to hurt herself.
Yeah. Oh. But like we're trying, we didn't say that exactly, but we basically said it, but like in a funnier way, or we were trying to be funny about it. Yeah. And we both got a chuckle and then just made him scared. So
have some milk and
So if he's listening, I'm so sorry.
I think it's cute because like I don't know. I know someone with like a sneeze fetish, and I think it's adorable.
A what?
Like sneeze.
Oh, a sneeze fetish.
I think it's like that's probably the cutest fetish I've ever heard of. Seriously.
Hers don't even come out. Like she's one of those people.
I hold my sneezes in, but I have a friend who loves my sneezes. She loves them. Mm-hmm.
I mean, hers are very cute. They're very cute and they're very small.
They're very dainty because I hold them in.
Yeah, so she's like,
I kind of do.
I go like, I don't do that. But
I do like chew like that. Like it's
Yeah,
really hard.
you say a chew, but like
Yeah.
After
like,
the
yeah. You like make what you think a sneeze sounds like. It's like so fake, but you're actually sneezing at the same time.
It's like not a conscious decision though. Like
Yeah.
you know,
I can't because I couldn't sneeze if I wanted to. I couldn't fully sneeze if I wanted to. It's just
Right.
like, I'm conditioned to go.
like your body wants to let it out, but you're stopping it. It's like just
yeah.
let it out.
I do the same thing too. I'm scared. I'm like probably gonna pee my pants or something. Because I mean, I've had some strong ones, but so now I just naturally.
Yeah.
I have found FetishCon 2023. It apparently happens in August in St. Petersburg, Florida. And
wow, why does that not surprise me?
Right? Yeah. It's also called FetCon, the original fetish trade show, 21 years running.
Wow.
And it says hundreds of top bondage, fetish, and adult models, vendors, and exhibitors, clothing, latex, corsets, shoes, rope, toys, and more. Lectures and workshops. I want to attend a fetish lecture.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a fetish
Teach me, professor.
Fetish professor.
Yeah.
What are you majoring in? Kink?
I know. Oh man, you got to have like a Einstein wig and a fake mustache and the whole nine. Your experiences that you told me about are wild. Those are probably the most exciting that I've heard so far.
I idolize
you. Oh my gosh! Well, thank you. I can't wait to experience more.
Yeah.
So would you go to like more parties, like more things like that?
And also, how did you find out about it?
Oh yeah.
About like the swingers thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was complaining that I hadn't had sex and blah blah blah, and being like really down. And my friend let me in on her secret that her and her husband go to these things, and I held that secret for them, and they held the secret of my fetish. So it's like we both have this mutual
Mm-hmm.
and it was really, it opened up a door of possibilities to me that I kind of knew existed, but actually going out there and like just trying it, like it was like, wow, I can go out there. And it was safe. And, I came back home safe and sound, and it was very private. It was very weird because like I didn't know the address. Like it was they had like security at, like it was like
I'm at a Arby's. Am I at the
like we drove to this house, and like there was it was long driveways, but there was like security guards like at the entrance.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, but they had they had a place for like everybody's shoes and coats, like, and so it's like, it was very interesting because you could tell they had this, it was like a party house, set up for that specifically.
I'm like, do the security guards know, or are they just down at the bottom of the driveway sulking like the whole 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah. Oh my God. People getting ass in there, and he's just standing out here. Man.
Oh, it's funny.
So you think you'll do more of them?
I don't know about the swingers one so much. It's just I've been trying to find somewhere in like Chicago to go experience like the fetish scene, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd really like to get tied up. Something not related to my specific, well, I guess like that's part of my kink. But because I know that they're out there, and I've been on like FetLife or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've checked that out too.
I haven't really. I've talked to like one guy on there for a while, but like I don't know. It's hard to tell like what areas are active anymore, or and some of this stuff just sounds like not like my cup of tea. So
yeah, I feel like all of the events that we find a lot of sex party stuff. It's a lot of stuff that requires like them to basically, I don't know what's the word, like verify you, like
vet you,
and like, exactly. And there seems to be a lot going on in like, I mean, we're also like in the heart of some of this stuff. Like I'm sure there's probably a lot in Florida too, but like in downtown LA, it seems like there's a ton of fetish club stuff, and
really,
Yeah,
Mhm.
like, I mean, the fetish scene seems to be mixed in with like the BDSM, but also like goth scene as well, and it
Yeah.
seems to be very like BDSM heavy. So
Mhm.
it's not like to me, it's not fetish in this. It's not a fetish meetup in the sense of like fetish for us. It's like
Right.
you know
It's,
Mhm.
yeah, what people think of when you say the word fetish is, like latex and yeah, the
exactly,
Mhm.
bondage gear. But yeah, I know what
exactly.
you mean. And
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
I think about going to those things, and I'm like, what are the chances that we're gonna find somebody here that's like into belly button play? Like
I mean,
yeah,
it sounds like
that
specifically,
it's gonna work.
you'll probably find people that are okay with trying it, but
Mhm.
someone who's
exactly
like that's their main kink, like that's I don't know, that's again like needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
right. Well, and I mean, like that fetish trade. So you were talking about. I've always like when I've gone into sex stores and I've looked at like the silicone models and stuff. I'm like, why don't they make a silicone belly button I can play with? Like I'm sure they have like one of the torsos or something, but
Yeah.
they don't. They really. I like one of the last times I went to one. There was like a foot, so I'm like, okay, they're coming. There's like a,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there
yeah.
was like there was like a vagina in the foot. It was so weird.
Oh my
It
god,
was
they have
so
that, but they
weird.
don't have a belly button.
No, it's
Yeah,
funny. I have
yeah.
seen the foot thing, but there's this video. I wish I could find it. It's a guy talking about all of the. He's like a salesman for different. What are they called?
Yeah, I know, like
The silicone.
masturbatory
Fleshlight?
aids.
Yeah, it's what is it?
Yeah.
Fleshlight?
Fleshlight. He has different fleshlights. Like one of them is Heimlich from A Bug's Life.
Oh
One of them is
no.
Shrek's ear. It's like
I can see I can see that in my head.
oh my
No.
god, and he's so funny. He's like, man, this one's gonna go quick. Don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Oh my
Like, don't sleep
God.
on this deal.
They can't do that to Heimlich.
Wow.
That's so
Oh,
sad.
so funny. But yeah, definitely not surprised about the foot. It's very hard for me to envision it though. Is it in the heel? Going up into the ankle? Like, are you thrusting
I think
up into the?
I think it was like you were looking down at the foot and like going through the ankle. Like it was
Oh,
really. I
gotcha.
think I just looked at it and I was like,
So they severed that
wow.
Achilles, and you're just going
Yeah.
towards the
Oh, yeah.
toes.
Yeah. It should. Man. But I'm just always interested in like all the different creative things they have there. Like
Yeah.
there was a vibrator there that was shaped like an old fashioned gumball machine, and it was like called like the cum ball machine or something. And I was
Oh
just
my
like, I
god.
wanted to buy it just for that because it was like too awesome. It had
I
like
just
these little
imagine like a gumball machine with a dildo on the end and like
did
it's
you
like
yeah you
turning the
have
thing when you.
oh my god, you have to
I'm
look
just
it up if you
picturing like your dick going up into the little glass ball
Oh,
And it's just
popping
it's
up.
thrusting into the gumballs,
Yeah.
making them fly.
It's got like little beads inside it, like that are colored and looks like a gumball machine. And
Oh
it, like,
really?
yeah,
Oh, so it probably
yeah.
feels good.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
obviously it
Oh,
feels good.
yeah.
I know. We
It was
we
weird.
need some like so like I've made my like belly button play like toy box.
Actually, I've been creating mine. I have like my medical bag and I have like
Mhm.
all my spreading instruments. I have,
Cuz you have a legit doctor's bag,
yeah,
right?
That's cool.
yeah. I have actually like one of the because I used to work at a hospital and they throw things out like all the time once it starts to like get bad. And obviously it's been sterilized and things, but like whenever they would have an inspection, I had a buddy who like was into weird stuff too, and he'd always be like, "Hey, they're throwing this away. Do you want it?" Like, yeah.
Hey, they're tossing out
And
this
like,
dude's foot. Do you want it?
oh my god. I did get a toe tag, not like a used one or anything, no, but like like
That's funny.
and I bought a lot of things offline too, and I think I've helped like identify some tool like the Vienna speculum, like the nasal one is
Yeah,
like
we
the
got one of
perfect
those.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Like
just
we
like, wow,
found that oddly enough, we talked about this tool before, but like the castration tool.
yeah, I want to try that.
So that tool is wild when it comes to like spreading a really thick band part, you know. I did not think that a tool like that existed. I mean, it obviously makes sense now that I know what it's for, but the bands that we could like put around like my belly button and hers, it's like they're tight. You know?
Yeah.
Like even the really firm like black O-rings, like we can actually spread those out to a degree and like get those on, you know? But it's crazy because I've only seen that tool opening up belly buttons. I've never seen anybody use it to put a band on, you know?
I don't think I have either, now that you say that. And like, because I was thinking about that as soon as you said that. I'm like, oh my God. Because yeah, that's usually the most frustrating part, is getting that stupid rubber band to cooperate.
Like for hers, like we have a whole process. There's two ways we can go about it. There's like 2 tie levels of her belly button, which is funny. If we suck it out and then we use string, the tip of her belly button that's like sucked out still goes back in pretty far when you break the suction. So we have a rubber band method that we use that doesn't involve the string yet, where you suck it out, you put the rubber band on, and you use a lot of lube so that the seal never really breaks.
Okay.
But you get like one loop going, you pull it tight and then you twist it, then you put it over again and you pull it again.
Like a ponytail, yeah.
Yeah. So you do like one loop, so the belly button's fully surrounded, and then you break the seal. And what ends up happening is the rubber band slides up the belly button to like this point where it stops, and that's like the deepest part of her belly button that we can like hold out. So then we keep then what do we do? I believe we pulled the suction toy off while her belly button is like barely hanging on, and then one of us, whoever's not holding it, ties it with a string. And
such an ordeal.
Yeah, and so now it's like,
like it.
Yeah, so now it's like secured out. We basically have, no matter what method we do, the first thing that we tie it with is never the last thing that we tie it with. The first thing is always what we use to like just hold it for now.
Yeah.
And then we get like the castration tool came with these bands, these like really thick bands. And they're like impossible to open up with your fingers, but the contraption opens it up really well. And getting those on there feel amazing. And it's like, that's like the only thing you need on there. So once you get the green band on there, we like untie the string, or we take off the rubber band and we just leave the green band on there. And it's awesome.
And now I'm gonna have to go to like the farming equipment store. And
I know, like we went on Amazon and it was only like $12.
I'll go to Amazon instead.
Exactly.
I seriously, like, sometimes I get like, there's a store around my area called Harbor Freight. It's like
we have that.
Okay, like I get horny looking at all the things in there. Like
we bought stuff from there.
Yeah, we bought we bought a clay carving kit from there.
Oh yeah.
So it's everything that you'd see like a clay modelers and stuff using, doing those really fine like sculpting techniques. Like we bought like a little basic kit for like $4 or something, and it's like, you know, a bunch of tips that are curved and flat.
Yes,
they're very flat, very soft, and they're just curved in a way where it's like easy to like hold open the belly button if we needed to, you know.
Yeah. Man, it makes me like, I really want someone else to play with mine, because the people who have not been like into it. So that's what I haven't really experienced yet. Yeah. And I want someone to just kind of, I kind of just want to lay there and let someone else do what they want to. Yeah. Cause it's like, pretty much a lot of things feel good. And I would,
but they feel better when it's not by your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've never had help trying to get my belly button out further. Like, I know I've gotten it out pretty far, and I can like squeeze it, you know, and just like see what it would look like all the way out. But again,
like yours is very interesting, like, because it's like almost rubbery in a way. Like I remember seeing clips where like you would pinch it, and the little indent on top would fully come out.
Yeah.
Like, where it would just look super smooth, and I love that.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I thought it was kind of cool too. But I'm like, I don't know. It's myself, so it's like I don't know. Am I being? This is weird, but I'm glad that people enjoy it, and I
Yeah.
still have lots of those videos, and I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out the best place to put them. Like I have everything I have from Pornhub still, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Like I don't really want to open an OnlyFans. Like we kind of talked about that a little bit because I like just being a part of this community and not like forcing people to pay me for
Sure.
this because I'm getting enjoyment out of it too. But at the same time, like I feel like if I did offer like a clinic and a service, like I could charge a fee for that,
Yeah.
and
I feel like
so
for
that's
us, like I think we decided to go with like doing like a paid thing because we do release like a lot of free content, but honestly,
mhm.
if all we were doing was like doing stuff on our cell phone or something, I feel like I couldn't justify like charging anything.
Yeah.
That
Like,
I see, and and you guys' videos do look like amazing, and yeah, it's
yeah, when you see the behind the scenes, we have like 2 cinema
see
cameras
how
set up and
wild it
like
is.
oh my
crazy.
God.
It's like wild what we have gotten
Use
set up
your,
for
like,
some of these
actual
shoots.
film equipment and like it's crazy.
I know, like
It's
I'm using
a
like my legit
movie.
like equipment that I
He
use for
gets
work.
so excited. Like you should see how he lights up. Like when he's talking about like camera angles and lighting and like shots and like all
Yeah.
the obviously you could tell that I don't like any of that. But he gets so like inspired. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
You set up for like a whole day once.
Not
Like,
a whole
well, for hours.
day.
You said it took a long time.
It did take a long time. Yeah, because we're like it must have been the video that to me looked the best. It was the oil play video where you accidentally made yourself bleed at the end.
Oh.
Her belly button bleeds all the time.
Yeah.
Like
It's bleeding right now.
yeah, like I
Oh,
played with her belly
no.
button like a couple hours ago and just with my finger and I pull my finger out and it's just like red and I'm like, God damn.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Aw.
she needs her belly button nursed back down.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
need
I
a
would
new
love to
one.
help.
Yeah. No, but because I remember, I think you were the one that gave me the tip of like putting Vaseline on a cotton ball and
Yeah,
then putting
yeah.
putting it in and then putting a Band-Aid over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
She
to like,
is
because it's very like thin skin in there, I think, in some areas. And
yeah. Yeah, almost every time we pull it out, her belly button starts to bleed a little bit. Like because there's
yeah, like
it's not like the deepest point. It's like from the sidewall because
that happens to me too. It's like it looks like it's on the bottom, but I think it's like when it's inside, I think it's more towards the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. So
But
like when your belly, it's almost like if your belly button was pulled out fully, and then you drew like a crack from the top middle down the side a little bit.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what hers is like. It's like a fold that wasn't meant to open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how to navigate around that.
I just think it's awesome that, people who like you who actually understand how to film things and want to make content, like you're going to give us way better angles than all these other, sites who have these women who don't, they're just getting paid to
Oh my
fake
God.
moan
You know
and
what I
lay
just thought
there.
of right now is like the fucking like it's so common. It's the woman she's there. Oh, it's the woman who's always being played with. And she's like just
Yeah.
looking around at whoever's holding the camera, like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
Like,
God. I know, like sometimes I like block out like the other person's face just so I don't have to like look at their suit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just but then the cameraman will zoom in on their face and it's like I don't want to see their freaking face. And I also like belly button videos especially because like you don't have to be naked at all. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's weird to say that I, for a while, got my content on like YouTube.
I did.
know?
Oh my God. Yeah, I did too. Oh my God.
I mean, a lot of them were videos that weren't even meant to be like fetish videos, but it was just,
yes.
so it
Yeah.
kind of feels weird to like put them in that light, and say like, oh, I got off to this. And if I don't know, somebody feels weird about that, but but that's just what it was. That was the content for me, you know?
Yeah, there was no other content. Like, no,
Yeah.
I would check out like medical books and massage books to see pictures of navels, you know what I mean? And like, yeah.
Oh, you know what's crazy? We went to Party City earlier and we were looking at Halloween costumes. There were belly buttons everywhere. I totally forgot. Like the skirts that are being sold, or like just the bottoms.
Oh my God, yes.
And there'll be like a picture of the model, and it's just their belly button, like right there.
Like a close up.
And it's like the ruffle skirt or the ruffle panties. And it's
yeah,
I know.
Anything like that. Any bottoms. They never have a shirt that goes with it. It's just the midriff, and it's like, oh my God. Like I noticed that earlier today, and I was like, I remember coming in here and having like a moment when I was like younger, you know.
At Party City.
Party City.
Party City.
But yeah, I think, well, first, like, thank you for even like freaking talking to us. Like, I know it's been a while, like trying to sync things up between us, but
this is really
like,
enjoyable.
Yeah, I know we feel like we made a friend a little bit here, you know, which is nice.
I'm very glad to meet you guys, like officially.
Yeah.
Very awesome to talk to you guys, and I hope people find, I don't know, this entertaining, you know.
Yeah. I would love to have you back for like you know, when we do like any like group discussion like type stuff. I think it's like cool to, I mean, we kind of did it with 4 people, but I want to get like 7 or 8 people kind of doing like a round table group talk. Like, you know, I feel like that'd be the coolest thing. But anyway, we'll kind of leave it there, and thanks, and we'll see you later.
You're welcome. See you everyone later.
Bye.